Okay, so you want to get into the Deshaun
I
Watson one
do,
first.
bro. Let's jump into it.
All right,
This
so-
is interesting because it's hot and it's fresh.
Well, we talked about it beforehand where Deshaun Watson was actually asking the ownership to like give Will Fuller a contract after he got that PED suspension. You remember that?
I do.
Yeah. So
was-
like we already had that conversation where it was basically like, oh, if you have a guy who's already asking for this type of like control over the team, having that type of like just influence where you're trying to get what you want and like they already paid you, so you have that much fucking power. So like let's get into it. Just a little bit of history on Deshaun Watson and
Go
what
ahead.
this Texans team has done.
Break it down for
So
me.
since their 24-0 lead against the Chiefs in the playoffs, they have been outscored by a total of 124 points. I think that's like the fourth lowest point differential, or highest, excuse me,
Right.
like fourth, like on the lowest bracket there. So basically, they just haven't been doing well with scoring the ball as well as defending the ball. And if they're scoring the ball, they're definitely not defending the ball right there.
Right.
That is allowing the Texans to post a 4-13 record. He also earned about $40 million for his career so far. And the reason why I wanted to mention that is because he has some money to fall back on. He actually has some money in the bank. So, him asking for a trade, the only way it can possibly happen, according to this report, as well as, you know, my own opinion on what I would like to see, is if he keeps his money in the bank, of course, uses that money how he wants to, but he has 40 mil in the bank, man. Like, you definitely have some money to back off on. He basically says, hey, you better trade me or I'm just not going to play. It happened before with
that fuck you money, folks. That's the best kind of money to have in the world,
40 mil,
man.
40 mil. He's really telling them the middle finger right there.
Ooh.
But Carson Palmer did this with the Cincinnati Bengals. They weren't like producing for him. He was like a number 1 overall pick as well.
Did he?
Or first rounder. So he stood out and he was just like not doing anything, being very stubborn. And they like tried to keep him, but eventually just traded him from the beginning of the season in October. Until October.
Right.
So basically, like that's like a month or two into the season.
Damn.
So they traded him pretty quick. So if he kind of just stands still, takes one for himself, you know what I mean, not for the team, like literally does his own like selfishness type of stuff, because it seems like the organization has been doing that as well.
So you're asking him pretty much to suppress his ego.
No. I'm not saying to suppress his ego. It's like you have a certain type of amount of power, and the NFL doesn't allow players to have any type of power. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Boy, don't they?
if you already have the money to like back you up and you can support yourself, why not sit out the games? And then they're literally getting no value out of you.
Right.
So why not get something in return? Because it seems like they're already going to be rebuilding anyway,
Right.
new coach and everything. So I was actually proud of the Texans for not giving him that much power and like giving him that much like say in like the GM choice and stuff like that, because I feel like they're two different jobs. Like, why would I give you front office responsibility? Like,
Right.
I understand like the cohesion in it, but it's like a GM. It's not your coach. I feel like that's two totally different things. But I say if somebody's offering you like a high first round pick, future picks, and a young player, you could probably do something with that. Man, like, I don't know, like you've seen what you have already with Deshaun Watson. I don't think it's gonna get any better from a 4-12 record.
Now, if you were a GM, if you were the Houston Texans GM, what in return would you want for Deshaun Watson?
Yeah, that's what I said. So
sorry.
first round pick
Okay.
this for this year, like a high first round pick, future high picks, and a young player.
Okay.
Because what else is he gonna be like? Like, literally, he's a franchise quarterback. Now, for
Right.
me, if I'm the GM and what I need to do, it's like tough for me to let go of a franchise quarterback. But it feels like there's a new quarterback every other year
Yeah.
who's a dual
Threat.
dual threat type of dude. He's
Yeah.
able to do both. Like, yeah, you already have one that can kind of do that, and he does like insane plays, and he's an X Factor type of dude. But come on, man, like, he's already having this type of relationship. I feel like lines have been like severed already with like communication between the two. It's maybe just time to move on.
Yeah, and then especially like I know we said it back like months ago, but after that D-Hop trade, that was the last straw, man.
And then like just giving all the control to Bill O'Brien, and then it's just a lot when it comes to that roster, that organization as a whole. Why not just restart everything? And I don't know, just get a lot in return from this guy. Try to do as much as you can, but 3 like high round picks in the NFL are gold.
Right.
You could turn Deshaun Watson into 5 like caliber, MVP caliber
if
players,
you could pick
good caliber players.
If you could pick one team that you'd want to see Deshaun Watson on, because I've been wanting to say this, if you could pick one team, where would you want Deshaun Watson to go?
So for me, I don't really know where I would love for him to go. I like your choice because you've actually told me this off of air. But he mentioned the Dolphins, and that's another reason why he feels like a little disconnected with the front office of the Texans is because like they're not taking the social issues as serious. The Texans have a history of saying
he's
like,
in Texas,
Houston, and so it's just a lot there. So apparently he wants to go to the Dolphins. The reason why is because they have a black head coach, a black front office, and most likely would take it a lot more serious than what he's already experienced. So I guess you could say the Dolphins if I had to say one, but I like yours a lot better.
Y'all ready for this, America?
Yes, sir.
If it's possible, I don't know if it is or not. Maybe, hopefully it is. But if it's possible, I want Deshaun Watson to go to the Saints.
The Saints.
They would just be running. Like, you might have to give up, like, Drew Brees and, like, Michael Thomas or something like that. But, I mean, I'm just saying.
Okay,
like,
well, so Drew Brees isn't a tradable piece.
No,
Michael Thomas definitely is, even with this contract. But I wouldn't want to trade anything other than, like, picks.
Well, I mean, in my mind,
maybe a good defensive player because their defense is loaded.
It's like, I'm trying to bleed you for, you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
if I gotta take a burden, I'm gonna make a burden for you. You know what I'm saying?
If I'm the Texans, I would want Drew Brees though. Like I'm starting from scratch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, no, if the Saints can make it happen, they have a loaded roster. They could definitely put a pile of like
maybe like
things
Taysom
together.
Hill or somebody like that. Who knows? But
Maybe
I would love for Deshaun Watson to go to Houston.
You already know how I feel about Taysom.
New Orleans.